I'm sorry for the actions of my land.
Hey y'all, it's Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. After my day of happiness yesterday, Tuesday, it is Wednesday. Quick weather report, it's rainy, it's 30 degrees, chance of snow mixed with rain today, blah, blah, blah. But I want to take this moment to apologize to the world for the bungling and crap that's being put out by the United States government. And on that, the topper was the press conference yesterday with Trump sitting next to Netanyahu, stating that his plan is to occupy Gaza. That's the United States sending troops to occupy Gaza, to have partial ownership of it, to remove all of the Palestinians who live there, 1.8 million, and put them in adjoining countries where we will create enclaves for them. That sounds like concentration camps. And we will rebuild Gaza and make it into the Riviera of the Middle East. If that doesn't sound like a dictatorial move, I don't know what is. And I don't understand why Republicans in Congress aren't calling for this person to step down. Because is this really the image that you want the world to have of the United States? That it is now just like Turkey or just like Russia, that we have the right to go into a sovereign nation and occupy it, remove its people, and take over and run things. I know this kind of thing has been happening forever, covertly, in smaller operations, CIA operations and such. Netanyahu didn't say anything about this. He sat there and just listened. Now, this is potentially totally fake, and that it's not intended to actually happen. Instead, it's a threat. So later on down the road, Trump can renege on this and state that, he's giving a concession to Hamas, let's say, to leave or to return all the hostages. So it could be a potential bargaining chip, I guess. But the fact that you state it worldwide, you do come across as a dictator, and you do make the United States sound terrible. That and everything else you've done in your first 2 weeks of taking office, you have made the world hate us. You have made our allies not trust us. You have decided, taken upon yourself, that agreements made with other nations are no longer valid because you are now the person in charge. You've been shown to be off mic with your mic on, stating that you, in North Korea, that when Kim talks, his people stand up and praise him, and that is what you want your people to do. You said that. You said, that's what I want my people to do when I talk. Now, we're also going to address the Treasury and the fact that Trump has sent a non-elected private citizen, billionaire, into the Treasury. When the Treasury officials objected, Trump had them fired. He locked out all the Treasury employees, so Musk and his little team of teenage boys could go in there and hack the system, download all the information they wanted, which means all the private financial information on every citizen of the United States. Now, what's he going to do with that? Is he going to use it for marketing? Is he going to build files on everyone? He can check and see how much money you earn, where your money's spent, how much money you received, how much you paid in. And down the road, he's in charge anyway. He can penalize you for whatever he wants. That is a big mistake as well. And again, Republicans, you're all letting him do this. And no one wants to speak up against him or against Trump because Elon has vowed that anyone that does, he will finance an opponent to run against them and pretty much buy that other person the seat in Congress. You know, this is just the first step. If you let him get away with it, down the road, when he wants a policy passed in Congress and you object to that policy because it's not good for the United States or a state or whatever, all he has to say is, well, if you don't vote the way I want, I'm going to finance an opponent to take your seat away from you during your next election. So you let a bully win once, that bully's going to come back and do it again and again and again. And that's exactly what's happening. And the Republican Party is just letting him do it. And I won't even get into the whole InfoWars crap by allowing them back on Twitter to run his show. I listened to it by mistake because it came into my feed, about 11 minutes of it this morning. And evidently, Elon Musk has released data that he pulled from the Treasury, and he's working with this right-wing nut job to trace where all the money's going. And this guy is presenting to Alex Jones, the host of InfoWars, how this money is going to all these foreign countries and it's pushing sexual images to children, and it's pushing drag queens on other countries, and it's financing communist and socialist organizations through NGOs. It's stating that money is being sent to an NGO in China, and then that Chinese company sends this money out to 12 other organizations that are all working against the United States. A lot of those companies that the money is being sent back to are United States companies. Yet, because of the China connection and the fact that those are liberal companies or liberal NGOs, like NGOs that house the homeless, that's one of them in Seattle, that is deemed communist. And this guy is praising Jesus and thanking God that Trump's in office and that Musk is stepping up and doing all this because it needs to be done. He also states that USAID, which is the organization that Elon immediately stopped from spending any money, that is the organization that sends money to foreign countries to fight plagues, illnesses, help vaccinate children, gives medications to children in starving countries. It's a salt medical solution. When you have dysentery because you haven't eaten and you get a bug in you, it keeps you hydrated, keeps you from dying. And that's what you see when you see all these pictures on TV of starving children. They have the big pot belly and all. That's the money. Money goes to save and help these people. But not anymore. Everything's on a 90-day hold. So all those organizations that depend on these funds are just SOL right now because of Elon Musk. And Trump sits there with his orange face paint and just goes, yeah, he's a really good guy. He's very smart in management and he's going to make some changes. And yeah, I mean, he only makes changes that I agree with, but I agree with most of his changes because, he's a really smart guy. For all of you who voted for this administration, think about what your life's going to be like in 6 months when everything that they're doing is going to start affecting you really, really badly. The tariff wars. What was the point of putting tariffs on Mexico and Canada? I know they've had a 30-day stay, and Trump is claiming that he got concessions from them and he's getting his way, trying to make himself look good. But what was the point in them to begin with, other than just publicity? And the tariff he just put on China, well, that just means that everything that we get from China, be it food, clothing, car, manufacturing, lumber, building supplies, tools, electronics, all of that's going to cost you, the consumer, more. And if you are in a red state that is one of the 11 most poor red states, and you receive any type of government funding, first of all, that funding's in jeopardy, especially if it comes from U.S. aid, because U.S. aid also funds organizations that help people in this country. That's going away, not to mention the fact that everything that you buy is going to cost more, but you're not going to be getting any more money from the government. They're not going to increase your income because prices are raising. That's just not the way the U.S. works. So again, I would like to send out my sincere apologies to the entire world, because the United States is not looking good right now. And by the way, this announcement that he made about the U.S. going in and taking over Gaza, that has just made the entire world unsafe for every American who's outside the country. That includes the military, who are now big old targets. That includes the tourist who's walking down, or maybe visiting Istanbul. You know, are you safe now? Because taking over Gaza is attack against the people in the Middle East. Anyone who is politically bent that way, or is from there, or has heritage there, they're going to see you as an enemy. So Trump has just screwed you on that as well. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's got private jets, he's got security, and he doesn't care about you. Now, will stating this get me in trouble? Probably, because I've spoke out against him. Right now, there is an attorney general that is friends with Elon, who has opened investigations against everyone in Congress, is opening investigations against everyone in Congress who is seeking to stop Elon Musk. The announcement was that Attorney General blah, 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 I don't have his name, I forget it. It was just one of those things you read or you hear and it's like, whoa. Anyway, the title was USDA opens investigation on Elon Musk issue. And you think, good, someone should do this. Well, no. The issue is that he's investigating people who are trying to go against Musk. And then on Twitter, evidently the DA is now posting on Twitter. You have people who see things on Twitter of someone talking down about Musk or saying something negative to Musk, and they're sending that name to the DA saying, I want you to investigate this person too because they said this, this, and this. And the DA's response is, thank you, noted, meaning he's keeping a list too. And what this is going to do is strike fear in everybody who speaks out. And this is the United States. You do have the right of free speech. But if you speak out and they don't like what you're saying, you're going to potentially get investigated and they're going to make your life hell. And that's what happens in a dictatorship, where you have appointed oligarchs, appointed to positions that aren't even real positions, running the government. They are the co-presidents. So that's all I got today. I'm sorry this is another political issue, but it seems politics is everywhere all the time. And it is depressing, and it is dragging me down. And that's why I will turn off the news for the rest of the day. Because once again, I'm going to choose my attitude. And it's not to be negative and down today. Instead, I'm going to try to do something more joyous. Or I'm going to do something that makes me feel joyous. I have to be gone here for a while. I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. But when I get back, well, then I'm not coming back because I have to go buy groceries. So it'll probably be this evening before you see this. And I was hoping to do some writing today because I've been thinking about some things, but that's probably not going to happen either because, darkness comes and I feel like all I want to do is lay on the couch because that's just the way winter works for me. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for your kind comments. Thanks for your opinions. Thanks for your input on these subjects. If you have input on this subject, particularly if you do not live in the United States, love to hear from you. Comment, please. And if you do live in the United States, here's a question. You as an individual, what can you do and what can we do as individuals to stop this other than contact Congress? And again, I will put the the Capitol number in the description of this video, and ask that you contact your representative and ask them to pressure the Republican Party and their Republican senators and House members to go against these things. And I would love it if they would call for him to resign. That would be incredible. All it would take would be the majority of Republicans in the House to finally stand up and, get some cojones and say, no, this isn't right. You're going to have 10 or 12 that are in the pocket of Trump anyway. They've been in his pocket the whole time. We're pretty much put in there by Trump and Elon. They're not going to vote for you. But if you get 40 Republican senators to go against him, that's going to send a message to everyone else. And it's also going to send a message to the MAGA supporters who are going to say, wow, maybe he's not the God that we thought he was. I mean, yeah, are they putting their political careers in jeopardy? Sure they are. But their political careers are always in jeopardy. And what's more important, that you save a democracy or that you worry about keeping your job in 2 years? It's not as if you can't, after your job, become a lobbyist like so many do and get paid a lot more money to do the same crap that you're doing now. All right, I got to go. Everybody have a great day. I hope it's more cheery than this video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I'm sorry for the actions of my land, for turning on our allies. It's like breaking up the band. We're setting bad examples. It's a heavy weight for the choices we make, the wrongs we create. Our leader looks up to those who oppress, and immigrants facing hardships. It's a bitter, cruel mess. We've let the few control an oligarchic slide, and billionaires at the helm with greed as their guide. To the world, I apologize for the hurt, for the lies. I'm sorry for the path we've strayed, wishing for brighter days. The Middle East, they stir the flame, going against the peace. We're sorry for the pain caused in our name.